Using estimation is a very useful skill to have. You can use it to check to see if your answer even makes sense, if it's reasonable or not. Here we're going to round fractions to a benchmark, they call it, of 0, half, or 1. So 1/4. Let's just take a candy bar and cut it into 4 pieces. That would be 3 cuts. A candy bar into fifths would be 4 cuts. And a candy bar into sixths, here's my half, would be 5 cuts. I need 3 on this side and 3 pieces on this side. And so now we're going to shade them in. 1/4, 3/5, and 5/6. We can take each one and round it to a benchmark of 0, half, or 1. So if this is half, does this 1/4 appear closer to 0 or half? Well, it's exactly halfway, so we're going to round up, and we would say it rounds to about 1/2. 3/5, here's half, so that is definitely closer to the halfway mark than it is to the total candy bar. So we would round that to about half. And then 5/6, here's half. This would be 2 pieces past half, or we could just say it's 1 piece closest to a total, so this would round to about 1. Okay, using candy bars as your proof, round each of these fractions to a benchmark of 0, half, or 1. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so we split the first one into fifths, and that would have been 4 cuts and shading in 1/5. The second one is into thirds, so that would be 2 cuts, and we shade in 2 out of 3, or 2/3. And then the last one is into eighths, so I'm going to cut it in half, and I need 4 pieces over here, so there's 3 cuts, and another 4 in this half, another 3 cuts, and then shade in 5 of those pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's round them to a benchmark of 0, half, or 1. So half would be split right down the middle, right there, and the 1/5 is closest to 0, so we would say it's about 0. And for our second fraction, 2/3, if here is our halfway mark, this is half of a piece away from the middle, and it's a whole piece to get up to the total. So this is closest to half. And our last one, here's the halfway point. This is 1 piece away from half, and it's 3 pieces away from the whole, so it's closest to half. We can round to 0, half, or 1 and find the sum of 2 different fractions. So half of 3 would be 1.5. 2 is pretty close to 1.5. It's only half a number away, and it's a whole number away from 3. So I'm going to round 2/3 to 1/2. 3/5, half of 5 is 2.5. And the number 3 is only half a number away from 2.5, but it's 2 away from the number 5. So this one's going to round also to 1/2. And then we estimate the sum, and we would add 1/2 plus 1/2 to get 1 total. Here's another one for you to try. Estimate each of these to 0, half, or 1, and then find the sum. So 1/7 is closest, half of 7 is exactly 3.5, and 1's closest to 0 than it is to 3.5. So I'm going to round this to 0. 9/10, well, 10 out of 10 would be exactly a whole, and 5 out of 10 would be 1/2. 9 is closest to 10, so we're going to round that to a whole number of 1. And then we estimate the sum, and 0 plus 1 is 1.